Shalom, family, and welcome back to my channel. I would just like to get this off before the Canelo versus School fight starts today. Just a brief recap of what we saw last night. Many are considering a very underwhelming showing, um, mostly for the last two bouts, but for me, even I'm not gonna say even the Barbosa's performance. It was not um, what I expected to see. So just to get started, the first bout was Teofimo Lopez versus Arnold Barboza. I did choose Barboza by split decision. Um, I truly expected to see a better performance by Barboza, but the reality is Teo showed up last night. The TO that many of us feel we should see with every fight. He showed up last night. He was more athletic. He was faster. He was the better boxer. Barboza did get good shots in. Obviously, putting a mouse under Teo's eye, his left eye. And to be honest, I really would have liked to see Barboza land more shots on that eye and try to do more damage, but he didn't. So that's neither here nor there. Shout out to Tio for doing what he is supposed to do last night. Um, Going forward, I really hope that he would choose to fight viable opponents, not just call people like Jerron Bootsin is out, and then we do not see anything procured from that. The second bout, Devin Haney versus Jose Ramirez. Um, Yesterday, I was backstage with Kana Loco, just he and I, watching these fights. I enjoyed what I saw. Go Going into these fights, there were two fighters that I did watch, kind of what they were going through in preparation in their camps. One of them being Devin Haney. Knowing that Devin Haney, which I spoke to this before, worked with Nate Jones. Nate Jones being a heavyweight, um, who was a very fundamental and I thought for a big guy, very good defensive type of fighter. The things that I saw Devin working on in camp, I saw absolutely in that ring. And I don't feel like he moved around too much. In the beginning of round one, yes, very nervous, seeming jittery. Um, but I do feel like in round two, he settled. Round three, he was doing what he was supposed to do. He was on his purpose. Lateral movement. I've heard different conversations and I've seen different people feeling like Devin was running. Um, I actually enjoyed this addition to Devin. The only thing I guess that I had an issue with is I did not see that beautiful jab that we are used to utilized as an offensive and defensive tool as much as we are used to and expect. Do I feel like going forward, will that return? Sure. I think people should understand that fight to fight, these guys are not supposed to look exactly the same. And if these guys are bringing individuals into their camp to enrich themselves, to make themselves a more well rounded fighter, you're not going to see what you absolutely expect to. We will never see absolutely what we are used to and expect to. I have said on my channel that in boxing, what I want to see Fight to fight, fighter to fighter is growth. Growth in learning from their past bouts, and growth as far as what they are doing to, or what they have done in order to prepare for the bout that they are going to be in. Because if you study film, you understand that yes, fight to fight, these guys should be studying film. They should be seeing, what does my opponent have that I can exploit, that I need to defend against. This is what I look for. This is what Devin did, in my opinion. Um, Again, the only thing that I would say, yes, the amount of punches were lacking. I will also say that I never again want to hear any commentary from Jim Lampley and Tarver. Like, I'm good with that. I did spend the majority of this time with this fight muted. I will not listen to them berate one and say nothing about the fact that Jose Ramirez did not throw a lot of punches himself. He did not cut off the ring as he should have. Where was the disgust? Where was the, you know, lambasting of Jose? I mean, I'm sorry. Yes, Jose Ramirez. Where's the critical eye on his lack of doing much of anything? Um, it is what it is. It's water under the bridge at this point. But going forward, yeah, I pray that they never bring back those two individuals for commentary. I feel like Mike Tyson had it right, even though he looked high up there and have out of sorts some of the time. But I don't. Um, Shout out to Devin. You did what you were supposed to do. Um, I I like the new style. I like the new look. I hope going forward, yes, that we do see the older elements come back, but I also understand this was a whole totally different fight. Had Devin just sat there, then Ramirez would have been able to do what he does best. That is tee off. That is get off that left hook to the head, to the body that he does. I didn't want that. Clearly, Devin and his team didn't want that, and therefore they did what they did. Shout out to him. The last fight on that card was Ryan Garcia versus Rolando Romero. Now, leading up to this fight, all the way back to the first presser, I said this whole card was designed around the rematch between Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia. In the last press conference, Rolly said this as well. Rolly also said, no matter how my fight with Ryan comes out, at the end of the day, this card was built around a rematch, and Devin deserves his rematch. That fight still needs to happen. I absolutely agree. When Rolly came in there, um, not being all mouth, quiet, laid back, that was a clue. I did choose Ryan Garcia to knock out Rolly, but in saying that, I also was watching Rolly, and I also was aware of the fact that this was his third fight with Coach Salas. I have also said before that it has been said, when a fighter has a new coach, by the time they are in their third fight with that coach, they are kind of in full swing of the tutelage and the learning of that coach. This is when you will start to see the changes that have been made. And we absolutely saw that last night. I even feel like going back to the pit bull fight, the the change was not complete. I will also say that just because a man or woman, but we'll say a man because this is generally men who get hit and get knocked down, who get hit and get knocked out. People are saying these people don't have a chin. Well, damn, Rolly sure did prove last night that he has a chin. Rolly has a jab. Rolly can box. Rolly had Ryan Garcia biting off of every single feint last night, and it was beautiful. Rolly had a left hook that really did not do the damage that it should have and could have been able to do had he full on hit Ryan flush. He would have knocked Ryan out. Um, the pressure that Rolly put on, again, the fact that this man never let go of that phone, it shows that not only has Rolly taken and listened to what his coaches, he's retained that. It shows discipline. Shout out to Rolly. As far as Ryan goes, I have said this before. I'm not impressed with Ryan. Whether I chose him to win or not, um, I, like many other people, thought his one tool, that left hook, would have done the job, but it did not. Ryan even attempted to throw some rights in that fight, some rights that had hit Devin in their previous fight. Um, Rolly obviously didn't make the same mistakes dipping to the right and returning that Devin was making in order to get hit with Ryan's right. So, shout out to Rolly, um, leaning back when Ryan was throwing shots, had Ryan missing. Like it was just a masterclass on his behalf. And as far as Ryan goes, um, shame, shame on all of the people in the lead up to this fight, be it the people in production and even some of you fans that built this man up a great white hype, a great white hope, giving this man credit for being some kind of a great fighter, great individual, when all he did was he barely beat Devin Haney, you guys. He barely beat Devin Haney in that fight. He just got lucky enough to land some blows, and he was lucky in the fact that Devin was making the same mistake over and again, and Devin has owned up to that. Devin made the adjustments for that. Shame on all of those people who built this man up, because at the end of the day, he was crying in his van. And to be honest, I don't care. I don't give a damn about Ryan crying, because he also let that stuff affect him. Instead of doing the work that it was going to take to beat Rolly, instead of being smart and paying attention to see what was really working with, you just went in there assuming that that damn left hook was going to get the job done. And there were many times where Rolly took that freaking hook away from you. You couldn't even throw it. There was a certain point where it just felt like Ryan basically gave up and was looking for a way out of that fight. It is what it is. You even had Derek James over there trying to coach you through, and again, begging, very reminiscent of the fight with Devin, begging you to do certain things. I feel nothing for he or Derek. It is what it is. Excuse me. Shout out to Rolly. Um, I enjoyed the card for what it was worth. I do think that maybe next time Turkey should reconsider making such an extravagant deal. Um, you know, as far as putting something dead in the center of Times Square, very audacious, very costly, and at the end of the day, did it meet people's expectations as far as entertainment? For the most part, it did not. I am fine, but the overwhelming consensus seems to be it wasn't. I've said enough. I'm looking forward to the fights today. I pray that you all enjoy the fights that are to come on the Canelo versus School card. Uh, Possibly may go live later and talk about that because I do believe we're going to see some good fights with the action that we expect today. You guys be blessed and shalom.